Okay, fair warning. I might drop some inappropriate language, and if you are not pissed off by the time I'm done talking, then you just aren't paying attention. Today I'm talking about things that matter, things that are controversial, even if it ruffles some feathers. Welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shauna, and if you are new here, we are a homeschooling family of 4. We are in our 9th year of homeschooling, and if you have followed me for any period of time, you know that there comes a time when I like to talk about the things that are often not being discussed, especially in this homeschool sphere. Today, we're going to talk about a few of those things. Before we go any further, guys, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. First and foremost, let's just get this out of the way. The reason that I am hesitant, and lately have been increasingly hesitant to speak about some of these issues, is because the massive amount of pushback, of hate, and genuine real life consequences that have been befalling people who are speaking about any of these topics. I'm talking about, hate comments, doxing, all kinds of situations for people who share a different view. And I want to be very clear about this. There are many things that I am going to talk about today, and I do not view these, most of them, as political issues. They are not issues that are divided along party lines, and I do not view them as mere political talking points. These are real life issues that are affecting real life people, and that is why, while there is always the risk of insanity befalling me for opening my mouth about anything that isn't homeschool related content, I think this is homeschool related content because, as you will see as I go down the things that I do want to talk about today, it is impacting the homeschool community, those in the homeschool community, the whole world, and it is important to talk about. Why? Because one, I do have a platform here. My platform is one that does actually bridge into what I would argue is more right-leaning, conservative viewpoints. I'm going to use a few distinctions in this video. We're going to talk about people in general. We're going to talk about liberal ideas. We're going to talk about conservative ideas. And then we're going to talk about Christian nationalism, which is an entirely different beast all on its own. And I want to be very clear. I have a very proud person who often believes live and let live. For me, it does not impact me what other people are doing with their lives unless it does impact me. And that is where these things tend to come up. If somebody is being victimized by a viewpoint, that's a problem, okay? And so it is very important to me that I speak when I'm able, speak while I'm able, and because I don't have a lot of the same ramifications that can befall a lot of people. Nobody's going to contact my boss and get me canned, okay? That's not a thing that's going to happen. I'm going to speak clearly, I'm going to speak concisely, and I'm going to gather my thoughts so that I can deliver a message that I do hope resonates with everyone. Why is that? Because my audience is made up of homeschool families. Homeschool families, regardless of whether secular, religious, non-religious, I don't care. If you are a homeschool family and you are seeing my content, that means that you are prioritizing the health, knowledge, well-being, education of your children. And so we all have that very much in common, okay? So because of that, I know that I can come here and I promise you that anything that I reference will be cited on the screen or in the description box. Every single thing that I am going to reference, I assure you, will be fact-checked, will be verified, and I will cite in this video somewhere. It is cited. You can view and verify on your own, okay? I want you to know that I'm going to come here and I'm going to be honest with you because we're all adults, okay? We are grown-ups who want what is best for everyone involved.
Yeah.
So I am recognizing that speaking up, one, it's exhausting. I'm just tired. We're all tired. And I understand that you can't even possibly think about activism and advocacy if you are merely trying to get food on the table and in what I believe is a suffering economy that's getting harder and harder to do. And it is harder and harder to think of anything extra. We're already trying to homeschool our kids. We're already trying to keep our home afloat. We're already trying to battle higher grocery prices. I understand that. But if we continue to not focus on the issues at hand, they're going to start focusing on us, whether we want them to or not. Okay, that's probably a long-winded enough issue. If you can't tell by now, guys, this is gonna be a really long video. I promise to put timestamps down below. And what really has sparked this video, one, it's long overdue. But two, I have had people in our homeschool community reach out to me and ask me to utilize this platform just to educate. We have people in our community, in our homeschool community, who are of Latin descent or Latin appearing, who are increasingly concerned about their literal visible presence in the world. And you know, if you're a homeschooler and you're out in the middle of the day with your kids, there's already a little bit of like a magnifying glass on you. And it is very important that we as homeschoolers take an opportunity if we are out with our friends who, as the Supreme Court has recently ruled, can be stopped for merely their appearance of some sort of border infraction, then we need to be doing our best to make sure that our friends, that our community is protected in the manners that we can, okay? And yes, I'm going to say that any amount of interaction with any amount of law enforcement based solely on what I look like, unless I am covered head to toe in the blue dye they put in bank robbery bags, unless I am covered head to toe in suspicious blood stains, there is no reason that people should be stopped based on the color of their skin. There are so many people, and this is near and dear to my personal heart. I have family members who are Mexican. Okay, fortunately, the ones that I am blood related to are white passing. So I know that their lives have been easier because of that. We have family, my cousins are first generation Americans. I have family members who look like they are Hispanic, who are in fact Filipino. No part of me wants to live in a society where we are stopping people simply because they don't look like the people who should be here. Which the irony of that is so insane because we do not look like we should be here, okay? The people who don't look like they should be here are the same people who look similar to the indigenous Americans who belong here, who were here. America's first peoples. And the irony is absurd. You're going to realize a lot of this video is based on what I am identifying as large, massive hypocrisies in the system, in the verbiage, in the situation, because it outrages me. It outrages me that we've made it to this point. And as a blue-blooded American, proud Texan, even if I'm not proud of the way it's being run or the people doing the running, even if I'm not proud of that, I am a proud American and I am a proud Texan. And I can tell you, I would rather 500 illegal immigrants pranced down my street than one single law-abiding, full-fledged, by-birth American citizen was stopped because they looked illegal. Everybody has that presumption of innocence until proven guilty. There is no reason now or ever to stop someone based on how they look. And this, I'm going to take right into my next point. Okay, as homeschool families, let's do exactly what we can to help our brothers and sisters in homeschooling out, okay? Please walk them to their cars, make sure they feel safe, let them know that you support them because it has Gotta be a scary place in the world right now to be anything other than blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white. The same goes for currently trans and gay rights, okay? If you have ever been into a women's restroom, you know that there are stalls there. There are stalls. I don't need to know what's going on in the one next to mine, guys. I don't. I just really don't. I don't feel strongly about it. I never once have felt particularly safe going into a public space of any kind and dropping trowel. That is not a situation that I feel like most people have encountered in a manner that makes them feel unsafe. How much eye contact are we even making with people in public bathrooms, and why are we doing that? They are gross. Go in, do your business, and get out. And again, the hypocrisy. The people who will not send their grown male children into a male restroom because they don't feel safe letting them go in there are taking their grown male children into the women's restroom, which quite possibly makes that poor child feel uncomfortable. And then are the same people who are arguing about the fact that there are men in women's restrooms. So you just let that sit in. You just marinate on that. Another issue that personally affects me in my real life is the issue of gay marriage. My absolute best friend in the entire world is a gay man. He is married to his husband and has been for honestly longer than most of the marriages that I'm aware of. They have a daughter. My niece, based on how the Supreme Court could choose to hear and rule on same-sex marriage, one of the things that I have seen being passed around is that children of same-sex parents would then therefore only legally be allocated to one parent. So my niece, who has never known anything other than both of her daddies, could be told that one of them is no longer legally her daddy. One of the parents of my niece could be told that they no longer have the same rights as the other parent, and for no other reason than someone decided to overturn the legality of their marriage. I am not talking about any religious aspect you may feel a certain way about their marriage. It doesn't matter. Marriage is contract, legal, public contract. What you do in your church, what you do in your bed, I could give two schnizzes about. That's not my business, and I don't care, and I'm happy to let you live your life. But the fact that there are people going after the rights of others who've done nothing wrong. They have done nothing wrong. They have followed every letter of the law. They have done everything completely legally. You're telling me that you're going to strip one of them of their rights as a parent? So what you're doing is you want to take parents away from children. Just so we're all clear and we're all on the same talking points. Children. The children who need the most protection. When are we going to address gun ownership laws in this country? I support the Second Amendment. Genuinely, absolutely do. I have fired many guns. Guys, I'm in Texas, okay? I have been around guns. I have fired many guns. We talk about gun safety, okay? I am licensed to carry a firearm. That doesn't mean that they should be as easily acquired as they are. And it doesn't mean that you should be able to acquire as many models as you can. So please tell me, anyone, please tell me, how many bodies of children is it going to take for you to feel like we should amend the laws? Nobody wants to take all your guns away. I mean, there's extremists. I'm not going to argue with that. How many children? How many school shootings is it? What's your limit? Where's the point? Is it going to be when it impacts you? Because that's another thing on my list. Why does it only ever seem like a bad idea when it impacts you? How many dead children are going to pile up in our public schools, in our private schools, in our churches, and on the street? How many? I genuinely want to know, what's the number? What's the limit at which we as society, we as parents, I bet you there's a lot of you out there who are watching this video right now where I'm talking about gun violence who chose homeschool, at least in some part, based on gun violence. I bet that's the case. Why? Why, oh why, are we celebrating the life of a divisive and, again, incredibly hypocritical podcaster, pundit? What is happening? Why? Hear me out. Please hear me out. Hear this full thought, okay? No part of anyone should ever be hurt, touched, killed, shot, maimed, silenced for their viewpoint. No one should. I cannot describe to you how much I believe that every single person in this country has a right to say whatever they want without fear of death. There are consequences to the things we say. There are consequences to the actions that we take. And there are consequences to the hate that we fuel. There absolutely are. But why, when a literal school shooting happened the same day, why is there so much emphasis being placed on only one of the shootings that happened that day, when one genuinely is a much more rare occurrence, even though it is increasingly picking up with many things that have happened recently, including the lawmakers in Minnesota being shot in their home, the attacks on Nancy Pelosi's husband in their home. None of it is okay. Absolutely none of it is okay. But the hypocrisy with which we will treat one and not the other is astounding. Not only, it's not even astounding, it's nauseating. It is nauseating that people cannot remove themselves from a situation for long enough to possibly examine all of the factors without their own emotional triggers. People are so worried about being right. People are so worried about being loud that no one ever stops to think, oh, wait, this is an everyone problem. Every American. I would love to hear from somebody who hasn't personally been impacted by gun violence. And I say personally, I have not personally been impacted by gun violence. That is a true story. But I don't live very far from Santa Fe High School, if you guys remember that incident. When I was in high school, we had a stabbing on campus.
Oh.
I don't want this world for my kids. And how many bodies? Political? How many bodies? How many children? What does it take? What does it take for somebody to say, yep, changes should be made? How many? How many parents being separated from their kids when everybody is here following the law? How many? How many people who've been arrested by ICE, taken in, were headed to their court appointment? How many people have been mistakenly picked up from ICE when they are here legally? How many people? How many is too many? At what point do we say, that's not where I want to head right now. That's not what I want to have happen. Other things I don't want to have happen. There are increasingly stringent measures being proposed in places like South Carolina. Now, keep in mind, I already live in Texas, okay? Abortion is illegal in this state. But there are increasing chatter and noise about things like in South Carolina, where they do want to get rid of anything that could be an abortifacient drug. Birth control, IUDs, mifepristone. I am a woman over 40. I have been done having children for a very long time. And earlier this year, I had to get a prescription for mifepristone so that I could get a uterine biopsy. Wasn't using it to have an abortion.
Okay.
Turns out a lot of situations actually come up where people aren't having abortions, but still need access to women's health care. A lot of situations come up where we think that our intent won't then come back to bite us in the hind end. And that is something that is happening more and more and more. And again, with the hypocrisy. For whatever reason, everybody has an opinion that that could happen over there, but that's not going to happen to me. How many women have voted against abortion access and against the things that help keep women healthy, and then found themselves in a situation where they in fact needed an abortion? Didn't want it, needed it. How many women have now bled out in parking lots or in hospital waiting rooms or at home because they could not get access to the health care that they needed? How many? How many bodies is too many? At what point do we decide that it's enough? How many bodies is too many? If it's about protecting the children, protecting the women, why are they the ones that are suffering in this situation the most? When we continue to think about things that will impact others and not me, how many of those Nebraska farmers voted to have tariffs on their soybeans? And how many of them voted across the country to have their workforce rounded up and deported? How many? How many of them thought that they could run a Trump burger, if you're familiar with the Houston area? How many Trump burgers? I believe there's 3. How many owners have been picked up by ICE? 2. Little poetic karma there, if you ask me. Why do we allow the hypocrisy? Why do we allow overwhelmingly one political party, leaders in political parties, public figures in that political party, to continue to be picked up on charges of solicitations or charges of possession of certain pictures? Why are so many of them divorced if they're so right with the Lord? Why are so many later found to have funded those abortions that they voted against, just not with their wife? Why are we, as women, as mothers, because we all are, if you're here, my audience is like all but one guy, women and mothers. Why? Why are we allowing this? You know why? Because we're tired. Because the news is hard. Because it's heavy. Because we think our voice doesn't matter. Because we say things like, oh, I don't do politics. Politics is you and you right up the yoo-hoo, honey. We are in a place where we can choose. We can choose to stay quiet. We can choose to take action. And action comes in many ways. So many ways. Action could be volunteering at your children's school just so you have eyes on the situation. Action could be going to protests. Let me tell you, I've done that many times this year. Everyone was peaceful. It was well organized. We all thanked the officers who were there. There was EMS on staff, on hand. Wonderful experiences, and I'm glad I took my children. They have seen democracy at its finest. And sadly, I know they're going to see democracy at its worst. We are at a place where comedians can't make jokes, and people can't even quote the words of someone who has died because the words are so incendiary that people are losing their jobs over quotes. And the excuse is in defense of the person who made the ugly words. Yeah, that's kind of wild, isn't it? Absolutely wild. It seems perfectly fine that people can use words like he was divisive and get canned. But you guys know, Fox News host who said that we should involuntarily, lethally inject the homeless population, and then just a few days later, somebody went and shot up a homeless encampment, injuring 8 people. That's cool. That's cool, I guess. I cannot not say the thing, because I know at the end of the day, I am going to be able to tell myself, my children, and what will most likely be the people burning me at the stake, that I said the thing. I'm not sad about it. I know where I'm going to be judged, and I know how I'm going to be judged. I am at peace. Absolutely at peace. As somebody who genuinely was a card-carrying Republican at one point, I know, who now identifies as liberal, I want to point out to you that this idea of liberal purity is allowing, not conservative. People can be conservative. Guys, conservatives aren't bad. Okay, conservatives are not bad. Extreme Christian nationalism is bad. Yeah, it is. Extreme Christian nationalism is bad. I'm going to say it, okay? And I'm really sorry if some of you identify as that, but it is not safe. It is not safe for our country. It is not safe for our women. It's not safe for our children. It's not safe for our daughters. It's not safe for anyone. Except the white men who are making buttloads of profit off of the movement. So good for them, but that's not most of us, even if we continue voting for it. They're going to come for you, okay? They might not yet, and it might not even be something you choose. Maybe you need mifepristone for a biopsy. Maybe you need help around your farm. Maybe you just want to run your tribute to Trump burger, and then they just look a little hard at your background, or make a mistake. They've been known to do it. I hope that you recognize that liberal purity, not allowing somebody to show up in any capacity unless they agree with you on every single little thing, which is exactly what happened in the last election, we will not make it forward together. So there are people who are not going to vote for the guy running for mayor in New York, even though he's like way ahead. He's pretty progressive and he's got some great ideas, simply because he doesn't fit every aspect of what they want. And I also am going to remind you one more time, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, the amount that so many of these things isn't a left-right issue. Because let's look at it. Let's just check the facts. Let's check the scorecard. Do we both homeschool? We do. Do we both have kids probably nearish the same age? We do. Are we both doing our best? Absolutely. Do we both check the ingredients on our kids' snacks? Probably. Do we both do what we can to keep them healthy? Yes, we do. Do we both work really hard to provide our children with the best life possible? Absolutely, we do. We don't have that many differences, you and I. But there's a lot of people up above us who make a lot more money than we do, who are going to keep pitting us against each other. Because when you and I are fighting, we are not realizing how much money they're making. We are not realizing the things that they are actually impacting in the world. Don't you think it's a little weird that the same guys just keep getting richer? The same media company just took over TikTok. Isn't that a little suspect? It's not a left-right, it's an up-down, but they're going to keep us screaming at each other over abortion, and they're going to keep us screaming at each other over healthcare, and they're going to keep us screaming at each other over gun rights. They're going to keep us screaming about anything but the stuff we need to be paying attention to. Hey, release the Epstein files. Guys, the world has gone crazy. Absolutely crazy. And like I said, I know there's going to be a lot of you who are really mad at me for this video, and I'm sorry, but I'm not. I gotta sleep at night. So if you do get mad at me for this video, just remember, you can drop it in the comments down below, and I'm going to delete whatever I don't agree with. Not whatever I don't agree with. No, if you're kind, probably let it stand. If it's factual, probably let it stand. If you're nice to me, probably let it stand. But anything that even ruffles my feather a certain way, I'm going to delete so quickly. And yes, I have that power. That's why I have a delete button. Guys, I don't even know I don't even care how you found this video. I don't care how you react to this video. I am a person who, it's my personality trait. I'm incredibly righteous. And there's a lot right now that I am watching that's right. And there's a lot that I'm watching that's wrong. There's a large protest nationwide coming up on October 18th. I will do my best to get this video up before then. It's called No King's Day. There's a lot happening, and somebody down in the comments is going to be like, there's no king, we have a president. Like, well, he's sure in some kind of way, isn't he? The problem is we all think we're right. And when we think we're right, we dig in. But I promise you, I'm going to cite everything I've talked about. And I promise you, I have no shame. When I get new information that does impact my viewpoint, I am happy to change my mind. I don't have any shame in admitting that I'm wrong. And I hope a lot more people got out there and did the same thing. And I also wish we could just look for our similarities. We want to be happy. We want to be healthy. We want a good America. We want a strong economy. We want our neighbors to be safe. We want our kids to be happy and educated. And we want to have, a few little comforts in our lives. And we don't want to go bankrupt because we got cancer. And we don't want to have a medical insurance company tell us that things we had planned were not medically necessary. We don't want anybody, because if you really believe this country is for everybody and you believe in the principles of America, then you know that extends a lot further than just white people. I don't want anybody to feel unsafe walking down the street, ever. And as a woman, we all know what that's like. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. There's no reason. We want good in the world. We do. We all want it. And if we work together, we could probably get it. If we could have the capacity to think beyond ourselves, the world would change, and it would change for the good. I want you, if you are having a conversation, whether you agree with me or not, this is how I've decided I'm going to approach things from now on. I'm going to ask the first question. Do you feel like you are well informed? If you feel like you are well informed, do you agree with, cite whatever person and whatever crazy thing they said that's resonating with you right now? Do you agree with that? Do you support that stance? And then depending on that answer, feel free to let them know that you're just going to limit the space that you hold in your life for them. Because not everybody needs to have access to all parts of us. Not everybody needs to have access to any of us. If you genuinely believe what you say and what you do, then learning somebody else's opinion isn't going to falter that, okay? You don't need to be secluded from the world to maintain your belief in a system that's good and works, okay? If you genuinely believe that you're right, I hope that for you. There have been many times this year that I have prayed that I'm wrong. Many times I've prayed and I've been called crazy. Like when I bought some Plan B just to have on hand. Everybody should buy some Plan B, have it on hand, be a good sister to the world. People told me I was crazy. Like, that's so extreme. They're not coming after that. Women have lost no rights. Nobody's lost any rights. My rights change at the state line because I have a vagina.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had a penis, my rights would be the same in all 50 states. But I have a vagina. My vagina and uterus are more regulated than the guns in this country. So that's fun. It's broken. The only people who can fix it are us. So don't feel like you can't do anything. And for the absolute love of God, don't check out. Things you can do. Activism. Volunteering is a form of activism and protest. Sharing creators who you believe have a good message to share. Even if you don't agree with every single thing they say, I think that's definitely one of the ways that extreme Christian nationalism has taken off, because they have no problem picking up everybody. They'll pick up the guys who are super racist in the KKKs. They'll pick up the people who are anti-abortion and super pro-life, but then they'll put them in with Caitlyn Jenner. I know, it's the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy. This video is long enough. Those of you who've listened to what my heart is trying to convey to you, thank you. Don't be nasty in the comments. Don't be nasty in the comments. I'm gonna delete them. Anything too extreme is too extreme. Anything too extreme is too extreme, okay? Just wanna give you a little reminder. I've identified as liberal, but again, liberalism has gone too far in a lot of situations as well, okay? It really has. I am the kind of liberal where I don't want anybody crippled with medical debt. I want every child to have a good education and I want them fed, okay? I want more resources for our veterans. I am that kind of liberal. I am not you can marry your swimming pool kind of liberal. The very first time I saw that, I was like, nope, that's too far. That was it. That was my threshold. We should all be allowed to have our thresholds. Absolutely. But we should all be kind. Guys, that's it. I'm out.